We saw it, we lived it, and hell did we enjoy it to the max. Welcome to Factaholic. This is your host, Scott Leffler, ready to unleash all the exciting action that the latest Monsterverse outing brought along. Now, to sum it up in one sentence, Godzilla vs. Kong is a masterpiece that unrelentingly relishes in abundance, with regular and imminent references to decades of pop culture history from all around the world. Also, before we begin, let me take a little breather first to just gather all my thoughts before unfolding all the major action that took place in the ultimate battle of the Alphas. And more importantly, to warn all of you watching this video that we've got some major spoilers ahead. I mean, major spoilers ahead. So, with the caution notice out of the way, let's just get them straight. Number 1. Why is Godzilla hurting people? Well, let me break it down to you right away. The reason for that is simply the shady business that Apex Industries has been engaging in. That is the creation of Mechagodzilla, and maybe even the illegal breeding and rearing of skullcrawlers. I'm not really sure about the latter, but Godzilla did foresee the impending doom that Mechagodzilla could cause. And there were likely traces of Ghidorah DNA that's been used to get Mechagodzilla to function. So you see, Apex's shady schemes directly provoked the king of the monsters, after which he naturally started approaching the cities where their bases were situated. Papa Goji then went on a rampage, destroying Apex facilities just to foil the sinister plans that Walter Simmons, head of Apex Industries, and other prominent figures like Ren Serizawa, son of Monarch scientist Ishiro Serizawa, had planned out. So Godzilla is perhaps only hurting the people associated with Apex, and the others who were caught along in the aggression were probably just unlucky. Number 2. Kong's new home? Actually, that's not really it. And by new home, I was referring to that containment zone where Kong was being held at. Yes, you heard that right. After all, he was captured by humans, perhaps Monarch. But why is he in a containment zone? The answer to that is most likely related to the big monkey's alpha status. I mean, the world can only have one alpha, Godzilla. And if he found out about the existence of another, then the clash of both the titans would raise hell everywhere. So that was a wise choice Monarch made, and Kong later even adjusted to life there, referring the place as home in his interaction with Gia. The containment zone, for that matter, was very high-tech and made in such a way that our island homeboy was comfortable. Monarch even went to the extent of creating an artificial sky, which actually looked marvelous. Number 3. Gia, the Kong Whisperer. First, let's talk about Gia. Isn't she just adorable? Gia is a young orphaned Iwi girl with whom Kong has formed a unique and powerful bond. We all pretty much had the idea that they shared a close relationship based on kinship, as both Gia and Kong were orphans. We also knew that Gia was mute, and both communicated with some form of sign language, and as it turns out, it is indeed sign language that humans use in general. So yes, it's confirmed that Kong speaks human now, even though it may be in the form of signs and actions. Number 4. Clash of the Alphas. The battle was fast, no nonsense, and it delivers on the promise of having the best on-screen monster battle in recent years. The only catch here, though, is that we've already seen most of the action in the trailers. But here's the thing. Watching it again on the big screen was definitely a whole different experience. It was like watching a UFC match live on the ringside rather than on your TV. So you probably get the idea of what I'm saying. It was just phenomenal. Right from the aircraft carrier clash to the Tasman Sea to the second bout in Hong Kong, it was a colossal battle of titanic proportions, one that we're going to remember for years. Number 5. Human Heroes. For the tag of human heroes, we have Team Godzilla that tries to uncover the source of Godzilla's rampage. Now, this group is made up by Madison Russell, Josh Valent, and Bernie Hayes. Special emphasis on Bernie, who's a crackpot conspiracy theorist and former Apex employee. Apart from that, we also have Team Kong, represented by a disgraced Monarch scientist, Nathan Lind, Eileen Andrews, a Kong researcher, and most importantly, Gia. These are basically the main human characters who played supportive roles for our Titan heroes and even brought in small touches of humor to make the film feel a little more wholesome. Number 6. Hollow Earth. Kong's real home. Yes, you heard that right. Seems like the Hollow Earth is actually Kong's real home, and it was probably where his entire species originated before Kong ended up in Skull Island. Now, talking about the Hollow Earth, we initially were of the mind that the entrance used would probably be the one in Skull Island, but that wasn't the case. We were, rather, taken to the continent of Antarctica for that. Well, Kong was airlifted. Funny thing about the Hollow Earth is that gravity is actually inversed in these parts. So in layman's terms, it's an upside-down world. As for the most amazing feature about the place, there exists a space where rocks float midair, and beyond it, the awesome throne of Kong, which is itself a magical domain. One that's filled with numerous Titan tech of sorts, and the crazy thing is that the axe weapon that Kong found there actually powers up the whole place like a nuclear reactor of sorts. Seeing that, it literally blew me away. Number 7. HEAVs. Behold the HEAVs, or should I say the Hollow Earth Aerial Vehicles. These cool crafts seem to come straight out of an alien sci-fi movie rather than a monster one, so it was an awesome inclusion. Having been built by Apex Industries, it was an advanced craft that used electromagnetism to function and could generate enough charge to power even Las Vegas for an entire week. Also, it was thanks to these crafts that humans could sustain the pressure while entering Hollow Earth. So, had it not been for these HEAVs, they'd all be crushed to death. Number 8. All monsters. So, we covered this in our previous video as well, but I'm going to list it again here. The monsters that we saw in this film include the likes of the king of the monsters, Godzilla, the ape titan Kong, skull crawlers, including their eggs, psycho vultures, the Chew Warbats, Hellhawks, and last but not least, the very overpowered Mechagodzilla. Apart from that, we also did see Ghidorah's skull. So there you go. Those are all the monsters that you'll see. Too bad they didn't even mention once about other remaining titans. Number 9. Kong's axe weapon. The hype is real. The axe weapon is one formidable tool of destruction, and it's got so much more in it than meets the eye. As I mentioned previously in one of the points, the axe weapon isn't just a weapon, but it actually powers the entire place that looks like a throne of the Kong species. The axe, made from the dorsal plates of a titan from the Godzilla species, is somewhat like a key or a catalyst that powers up an ancient source of titan energy, and the technology behind the whole thing is simply out of this world. Also, the final battle did also reveal that the axe can store up charge from Godzilla's atomic breath and become even more potent and deadly. Number 10. Godzilla's atomic breath, now even more powerful. Oh yeah, boy. My homie Papa Goji has honed and polished his abilities pretty well in the last couple of years, and all his combat abilities were up for display in the colossal battles with the big monkey. Although, when it comes to the atomic breath, the improvement is far more noticeable. I mean, the sheer amount of destructive force and density that it carries is simply insane. Godzilla's eyes completely light up blue, which looks pretty magnificent. As for the question about how powerful the atomic breath has become, you'll have to go back to that particular scene in Hong Kong where the Big G unleashes a massive atomic breath down the ground, which makes it all the way right into the Hollow Earth where Kong was. Yeah, it was that powerful. Number 11. Which Titan will fall? Okay, now the answer to that's a tough one, because Kong did fall and was on the verge of dying. But then again, he did stand back up, thanks to a little help from Adam Lind and the HEAV, as well as the encouragement from Gia. So it was neither Kong or Godzilla. But one Titan surely did. Number 12. Mechagodzilla Unleashed and details on the mechanized Titan. The mecha is real, and the monstrosity Apex created was probably even beyond their comprehension. A titan unlike any other, Mechagodzilla is straight up overpowered. It was crazy enough to think that Walter Simmons and Ren Serizawa thought of symbiotically controlling the unreal monster using Ghidorah's skull, because it simply wasn't going to end well. I won't go into those details now, other than the mechanized titan itself. As we saw it, Mechagodzilla was bigger than Godzilla or Kong. Not by much, but still significantly larger. If I had to make a rough estimate, it's easily about 450 to 460 feet tall and way, way more powerful than either of the two titans, which was pretty obvious. The red mouth beam, for that matter, was easily more powerful than the much improved atomic breath of Godzilla, and the raw strength that it possessed is just on another level altogether. As for other tricks up its arsenal, Mechagodzilla possessed shoulder missiles, arm boosters, back boosters, and a potent tail weapon that would have almost killed Kong if Godzilla didn't intervene. So yes, there was indeed a team-up, which brings us to the next point of discussion. Number 13. Godzilla and Kong finally team up. Holy smokes! The team-up of the decade finally happened, and I can't express how amazing that was. Godzilla and Kong finally set their differences aside for once and put up a combined fight against an overwhelmingly powerful opponent, Mechagodzilla. And it was due to this that they could finally defeat the mechanized enemy. But then, sadly, the team up ended right after. Number 14. Who won? Who fell? The Alphas won. Godzilla and Kong were both victorious in the end, although one Titan did fall, and that was Mechagodzilla. But there was another final intimidation display exchanged between the Big Monkey and Papa Goji, but even then, none of them bowed down. So how did it not lead to a fight? Well, that was probably because Kong dropped the axe and showed no will to fight the King of the Monsters, who was easily more powerful. But that's probably not the reason why Kong didn't want to fight him. Godzilla wasn't an enemy, and maybe after Gia made Kong believe that, he probably perceived the big G as a friendly. So they both still remain alphas, with Kong moving underground to the hollow earth and Godzilla disappearing into the ocean. And with that, it's a wrap for this video too. Hope you enjoyed it thoroughly. Thanks for watching. Now, if you want to keep watching more videos like these, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and smash the bell icon too while you're at it. You're watching Factholic. This is your host, Scott Leffler, signing off for now. Peace.